Hello everybody, Rob here from Average Hobby, and today I wanted to talk about the big things I learned this year while hobbying. I'm not going to be like, hey, this tool made me a better painter, so, go buy it. I'm going to just say things that this year I learned that, made things a little bit easier for me. Number one, speed paints. You can see a whole bunch of them, for example, the speed paint metals here. I learned this year that they almost make a better wash over Fanatics than they do almost like a paint. That was the first big thing. Number two, and three actually, when using a wet palette this year, I learned start from the furthest away from you and work your way down to the right. So work your way across here and then across here. Don't start like this, because then you're going to be constantly going over an existing paint. So if you ever need to go back, you could contaminate said paint and kind of make things a lot more harder for you. Now, for those of you who do have a wet palette, especially one of these Red Grass Game ones that are airtight, I do want to mention this big thing. The biggest thing I learned about wet palettes this year is hydrogen peroxide. I'm doing, so this is a 500 ml tattoo water bottle. I do about, I got like a little line here that I fill with hydrogen peroxide. So it's maybe almost 30 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide, give or take. And then the rest is all water, just above the 500. And I used to have this weird smell coming from my palette every time I'd open it while painting. It was kind of a musky, weird odor. There was no mold or anything like that, but you could smell that there was definitely something wrong. Now using this method of hydrogen peroxide in the water, and then, filling it up, waiting a little bit, filling it up, waiting a little bit, the smell's gone away completely. I threw out a sponge thinking it was something I did. Turns out, no, I just needed to do one more extra step to take care of this thing. Some people put pennies in and all that stuff. To be honest with you, hydrogen peroxide is like super, super cheap around here. And we don't have pennies in Canada anymore. So finding one actually would be a lot harder than finding hydrogen peroxide. So, and I mean like a good clean one, not like a dirty, nasty one. I think I have a couple of those around here, but yeah, hydrogen peroxide and some water, spray fill, boom, there you go. The next thing I also learned was about Vallejo can primers. They're crazy hard to get off your model if you're going back and redoing a model. So much so that you'll have to use isopropyl alcohol. And even then, the old Vallejo spray primers may actually stain your models, the colors that you used. So, yeah, there's that I learned, unfortunately. Speaking of, actually, now that I have this out, when washing my Kolinsky Sable brushes, I got a Series 33 from Rosemary & Co. here. I've learned something very interesting. So, your usual clean, right? You get boiling hot water, you dip it, do your soap and all that stuff, do the ring thing to get the nice little point. But the issue I always had was, how do I get it to stay vertical while drying off so that water doesn't, go in here and ruin things? And I found these little things on Amazon that actually are magnets and help you position your paintbrush straight down so that it dries out a little bit better, and water doesn't seep into the end of the ferrule. That was pretty nice. I learned that this year. That was really good. I also learned that scalding hot water and airbrush cleaner works amazing for the airbrush. Kind of mix in. I usually do about 150 milliliters of cleaner. Fill the rest up 500 milliliters of water when it's boiling, and spray with the airbrush. Works amazing with the kind of the pressure that the nozzle comes out of. It cleans these things out really good. I also learned this year with the airbrush, the main thing I actually learned this year about the airbrush is rinsing while painting. So the big thing I always had was, I'd paint one solid color. I'd put paint in, realize I didn't have enough, put a little bit more in, go, put a little bit more in, and go. What you should be doing is putting just a little bit in. I put about 10 to 12 drops in, spray. If it's not enough, I'll rinse it with water first, just to rinse it what's in there. And then a couple drops of thinner, spray the thinner out so this, so it's clear. And then put 10, 11 more drops in, give it a quick little spray test, and then go again. And I've never had a clog for the entire year. Well, almost for the entire year. Pretty impressed with that. Yeah, those are the big things really I learned this year. There's nothing really I can think of off the top of my head in regards to a lot of these things. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the the hobby stuff this year. And I just want to keep this video quick, no longer than 6 minutes. So with that in mind, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.